Right, family. Once again, it's on Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarah Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. We're going deep in the KUSH today, family. We're going to be talking about temples that are rarely even mentioned, on the internet. And some of the most beautiful temples of all are in Nubia, and they never even get mentioned, because this is going to speak to some of that southern origin of ancient Egypt. But anyway, before we get started, family, I want to make sure you get over there to my Patreon. We got that file over there right now for you. We got to jump off with Solomon and Melchizedek connection, the ancient Kemet. We're going to be tapping in, looking at the verses, giving up the information, letting you know that it leads right back to the culture of African people. Also, we got the Hitler in ancient Egypt jump off. That's actually after this particular video right now. So if you want to catch it live, you can go over and become a patron if you're not already a patron, and we tapping in right after this video. So most definitely check it out, family. Also, KingSeti.com online marketplace, official General Seti products, DVDs, t-shirts, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry. You can become a member right here, YouTube, General Seti, Sarah Seti, unlock some valuable information, exclusive videos. And please give this video a thumbs up, like it, because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. Comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because you will get banned. Now, the temple we talking about right behind me is Wadi El Sabua. Wadi El Sabua. And I believe this temple was first established by Amenhotep III. I don't think it was this particular temple, but I know Amenhotep III was the first pharaoh and he was of the 18th dynasty, great master builder. He just built all over the place. And matter of fact, they consider him maybe the one that put the most temples, most statues of any pharaoh, but and Rameses II came behind this brother. But a lot of temples like this one at Wadi El Sabua, when they built and let me give you a map to show you where this is. Let me give you a map so you can see what it's at. Take that out of there. Now, Wadi El Sabua is, if you look at the bottom, is right up under Aswan. If you look Asna, we still in the house, family. Asna, Edfu, Kamambo, Elephantine Island, Aswan, and then right after Aswan, you will see Wadi El Sabua. Now, what's crazy? I had video. I didn't get the photo. This temple underwater. So if you look at Aswan, you will see that Aswan is where, of course, the great dam, what the Nubians call it, the dam. And so once they put that dam at Aswan, it flooded out so much Nubian artifact temples, cemeteries, and they did this on purpose. They did this on purpose so that they could, wash out the connection between Egypt and Nubia. You see, that's exactly what they did. It's so many temples. And matter of fact, that Abu Simbel would have been underwater. Abu Simbel would have been under. It's so many temples that they cut just to save them. Now, Abu Simbel was connected from my understanding, the mountain that they because it was Abu Simbel was cut into the mountain, that they left so many different chapels that was in that mountain they had to leave behind. So they wicked, for them to had flooded out so much of that, so much of the temples and the cemeteries. They know these is ancient cemeteries, so they knew what they was doing. Hold on, family, let me turn my light on. Yeah, we back in effect. We back in effect. We had to put them lights on so we can had to brighten it up in here. Good, yeah. So yeah, they didn't washed out so many of our ancient temples down there in Nubia. This particular temple. Let me get the comments out at this time. Say Aswan is my okay. That's a powerful name. That's a powerful name. Most definitely. You see the temple. So the temple of Wadi El Sabua, meaning Valley of the Lions. So when you get down there in Nubia, you got the one over there, Apetamek. You got the temple of Apetamek too down there in Naga, Sudan, which is also a lion temple. And I think the one at Musarat. You got another lion temple over there at Musarat. These is Nubian temples. So you see when you get down in Nubia, that lion is highly venerated. Now you can see right there, you see the sphinxes, of Rameses II. So they're just showing you who I think established this particular temple right here. And now I know Amenhotep had I got to see what part of the temple Amenhotep III may have built and what part Ramesses built, but it ancient Egypt's important New Kingdom monuments in Lower Nubia, southern Egypt. Its history spans pharaonic construction, later Christian use, and modern rescue and relocation. So okay, so they didn't remove this temple. This temple right here is not in its original location. So they had to cut up a lot of the temples and move them to different areas. They had to cut up a lot of the temples and move them to different areas because I seen it when it was underwater. A lot of them temples was underwater. I believe I don't know if the temple of Isis at Philae might have been underwater. That just show you how wicked. You mean to tell me I have never seen no other culture that would do that to their ancient monuments? They would find another way to come, whether to get water or whatever, but to flood out so many this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. And so this just let you know that they didn't see this as being their history when they did that. Do y'all know they had turned this? Many of the Egyptian temples, they had turned into churches, Christian churches. But they're gonna tell you about how evil the Egyptians, but they didn't turn their temples into churches. That let you know that they was trying to build on top of that ancient spirituality. You see what I'm saying? And so they was used. So origins in ancient Egyptian, the earliest temple, which was built by Amenhotep III, the first temple at Wadi El Sabua was built in the 18th dynasty under Pharaoh Amenhotep III, 1390 to 1352. It began as a small rock-cut sanctuary fronted by a mud brick pylon. Wait a minute, pylon, a court and hall decorated with wall paintings. Okay, this temple may have originally been dedicated to a local Nubian form of Horus before later being associated with Amen. Okay, so obviously that temple is no longer there. It might have been the original temple. Okay, expansion and Ramesses II temple. So ain't no telling, they might have left the other part of the temple. Ain't no telling if they brought all the temple or not. Okay, the largest and best known temple was built by Ramesses II, and that's this temple right here, who ruled 1279 to 1213 BCE and was dedicated principally to Amen Ra and Ra Horakti, as well as deified Ramesses himself. Construction likely took place in the years of 35 to 50 of his reign under the supervision of Settau, okay? Settau, viceroy of KUSH. So even when you look at that Set, that's a term that they use for Nubia. You see? So when you talk about Set, was one of the earliest gods. That's why they demonize Set so much. And the people don't want to get to the history of that he's one of the earliest gods of the Nile Valley, older than Osiris, older than Amen, Set is out of Nubia. You see, when you get to looking at many of them, Aset, when you look at Ipit, when you talk about the Temple of Karnak, or Waset, which is the great city of Waset and Ipit-Aset. Ipit-Asut, and Sut is Set too. So Karnak is Ipit-Aset or Ipit-Asut. So you see that Set is in everything. But all you gonna get from somebody is that, Set mean. No, you don't know what Set mean. Just admit it so you can open up your mind to see more. It's more to see. Don't lock it in, because they want anything that gonna lead you to the south, they're gonna demonize it. So you ain't gonna want to mess with it. But if you use it as a doorway to open up to a greater possibility of wisdom and knowledge, man, you don't know how far you can go with the studies of the Nile Valley and African history in general. So the temple featured a processional avenue of sphinxes, which you see right there, leading to massive pylons and open courtyards, followed by a rock-cut hypostyle hall. Now, I didn't get all of that in there. I'm gonna let you see a side view. It's still a beautiful temple, most definitely. It's a beautiful temple. If you look at the bottom, you might can see where the flood, you can still see the flood line on the temple. I believe that if you look in the front, you maybe not, but it looked like you could see some of where the flood had come up. So it's still a very beautiful temple. It looked fairly new, but it was built in under Ramesses the second. We got the four colossal statues of Ramesses once stood by the third pylon, and the reliefs inside showing the king making offerings to God. Strategic and religious role. Located roughly 150 kilometers south of Aswan on the Nile's west bank, Wadi El Sabua served both as a religious sanctuary and a symbol of Egyptian political presence in Nubia during the New Kingdom. Later use and transformation, Christian conversion in the 6th century of the Common Era. After the spread of Christianity in Nubia, the hypostyle hall of Ramesses. Now, the hypostyle hall is in that back portion. The front portion is the pylon, you see, but the back portion is where you got the hypostyle hall. And so it was converted into a church. Okay, plaster was applied over some of the original relief. So they're going to go in there and plaster over the relief, and Christian scenes were painted on top. Ain't that something? You see, supposed to be wicked and all that, but then you go in and you turn the Egyptian temple. That just show you they couldn't build none of their own. They just show you they couldn't build none of their own. They didn't have the intellect, the architectural intellect to build churches of their own. So they had to come in and plaster over the ancient Kemetic and Nubian carvings on the walls. And so it including depictions of saints such as Saint Peter in a remarkable, what it say, instance where later Christian imagery covers pharaonic carvings. I don't know what remarkable about it, but you see, so it says this covering, while altering the temple's use, help preserve the underlying reliefs that might otherwise have been lost. So they saying by them putting the plaster over it, you see, it helped preserve the underlying reliefs. Oh, so I'm glad of that. So they can go on and tear that Christian, get it on up off of there, which they did, and bring back the original ancient carvings and reliefs. Now it says modern rediscovery and preservation. Matter of fact, let me get this other part of the temple up there. He said Noah never existed. You know it was. If it was a world flood, we're not talking about the flood. We talking about the Aswan Dam flood. With anybody? So this is the Sphinx. The rows of Sphinx that lead up to the temple. Very beautiful temple. You see what I'm saying? Well preserved, well preserved. And when you know what, family, when you think about, there's no, people got to appreciate y'all. You got to understand one thing about ancient Egypt and Nubia. All of it is in the BC period. You feel what I'm saying? You talking about the whole where, people talk about India and, India go into the AD period. Egypt don't go into the AD period. Yeah, when Egypt, the last African kings who ruled in the BC period, it ruled in the BC period. Now Nubia comes into the AD period, but Egypt and a lot of what some of the pyramids did, in Meroe are from the AD period. You see, so but you got you talking about 95% of the temples and megalithic structures in Egypt and in Nubia are in the BC period. No other society, ancient civilization, has so many artifacts from the BC period. And what's crazy, what people don't understand, that Egypt and Nubia combined, Egypt by itself, really, but Egypt and Nubia combined, Egypt by itself has more ancient artifacts than the whole world combined. Do you understand that? That's like, man, that's just, and people got to come to grips with that. Egypt alone has more recovered ancient artifacts, temple, than the whole world combined. Okay, so when you go to major museums, when you go into the and what you see on the floor is just little bit. You see, it's just a little bit. So you talking about people that left the facts. We ain't up under the ground looking for because Egypt, they still. But the fact is, everything on top of the ground has already proven the facts. We don't need everybody else still digging under the earth trying to find something. We don't need to dig no more. We got so much evidence on topsoil that it's already been proven all facts that need to be proven. But let me get back to this temple so we can give it all the due homage. Wadi El Sabua. Ray said, you called me. Yeah, you called me. I'm on here now. Yeah, I had to get in here and get back, because I've been missing it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't missing no more. I'm on top. You feel what I'm saying? We about to do some real heavy mental out here. But the threat from the Aswan Dam, with the construction of the Aswan Dam in the 1960s, rising waters of Lake Nasser threatened to submerge Wadi El Sabua along with other Nubian monuments. So the International Rescue Campaign, as a part of the international campaign to save the monuments of Nubia, co-sponsored by UNESCO and supported by many countries, the temples were dismantled and moved approximately 4 kilometers west to higher ground between 1964 and the late 1960s. So it was cut up. It was cut up and moved somewhere else, or it would have been under the. And so that was right in there where they flooded it out. See, they flooded out key areas that show and prove the early Nubians being the original blueprint of what went into Egypt. So they went in there and flooded a lot of that out. They flooded a lot of that out. And that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You could not have gotten them to go into Rome, to go into Greece with that many and flood out all, ancient temples like that and royal, about royal cemeteries. These peoples is crazy. Real. So they had to cut this temple up and move it. You see, and I'm glad they did. I could show you where it was under the water. Yeah. I could show you, yeah. That's right. I can show you where and you can see again down there at the bottom. You can see where Wadi El Sabua down right up under Aswan. You can see Wadi El Sabua. And see, a lot of times, you got to take a special trip over there to see that temple. That temple like Wadi El, then you got the other temple, Amada Deer, which is a smaller type, we got Wadi El Sabua down there, and also you got the Naga Temple. You got the Naga Temple, which is the Temple of Amen, down in that area. So you have to take a special trip down there. You had to take a special trip down in that area to see them temples. It wouldn't be on somebody, after they get to Aswan to like Philae Island, and that's about as far as they want to go. That's about as far as, but there are other trips. It would be a special trip that would take you down there. You see, that would take you down. I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna do a video, a live stream on what temples was actually flooded out and moved, so that you can understand. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be key for y'all, that I do that, to show you what temples were cut up and moved. This was one of the temples that was cut up and moved. I know Abu Simbel, so that just show you they had planned on flooding out. If they hadn't cut him up and moved, they would have flooded all that out. They actually wanted to hide it because it was down in the area of Nubia that showed how Egypt developed out of the southern regions of Sudan and Nubia. So they wanted to flood all that out. But we're going to do a special live stream for that. I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all get on over there to Patreon. We got that Solomon Melchizedek connection to ancient Kemet. It's on there right now as we speak. We got the Shabbat Stone jump off is up there, right? And we about to run right now. We about to do the Hitler and ancient Egypt on Patreon. So if you're a patron, you might as well go on over there and check it out. If you're not, you can get over there and become a patron. It don't take much to get that wisdom and knowledge. You got a lot of videos that would be waiting on you, and it is well worth it. So get on over there and check it out, family. This is General Seti. I'll be back on YouTube in a little bit. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on the Wicked Beast Daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Boom. Black Power.